cents short of $1, the show where we give our 2 cents and keep it 100. Got a special guest in the building today, my man Bolo, along with your host, Motiz. I'm Rue. Today in the NBA world, I want to talk about my man Jason Taytum. He put out a list recently that's tearing up the internet. A lot of people disagree with his top 5 most skilled players. I'll list it off real fast, and Bolo, I'll let you jump in. So Tatum ranked himself number 1, Kyrie number 2. I believe it was Kevin Durant number 3, Paul George number 4, and Devin Booker number 5. So how do you feel about it? I see you shaking your head, man. Just go ahead, let off.
One part of me is you can say what you want and you're supposed to feel that confidence. So like I hate when they kind of ask these, questions to these players because it's hard for somebody to sit there and just say, this guy's better than me or more skilled or whatever. So, you gotta give him grace there, but like from the fan perspective or other player perspective, who he has number 2 is, who everybody I think is the consensus number 1 in a sense. Yeah. And when you talk about skills, it's also like, you breaking down the game into all right, handle, shooting, passing, rebounding,
footwork.
Yeah, footwork, things like that. So, when you get to those elements of who's, the most skilled in that lane and, ranking each of them, I think that will give you a better, like, who's the most skilled, what's the ranking of each skill, and then kind of, average it out. So as you know, Curry will be number 1 in shooting. Kyrie probably number 1 in handle. Is like, where does he fall in those two, the things that he do. And rebounding, he's not that high of a, he is a good rebounder, but in tense of the forwards and stuff like that. So yeah, I think, it's not egregious for him to say it because it's himself, but I don't agree. I don't.
Okay. How about you, Mo? What do you think? You think it's egregious? Do you think it's accurate? What do you think about Tatum's opinion?
He's out of his
cotton picking mind.
I agree with Bola. I don't think it's egregious, but I do think there is a thin line between being confident and delusion, right? And being I think it's obvious Kyrie's by far the most skilled player in the NBA, right? And when we're talking about skilled, we're not necessarily talking about being the best at what you do, right? Fair. Because you have players that, maybe a master of one, or they have 2 skill sets in particular, but they're just so dominant in those areas that makes them the best. They're just most effective in those areas, right? But when you're talking about like skilled players, talking about like what Bolo said, a wide array of tools that you can use to your advantage. And I think Kyrie's just one of those type of players. He is by far the most skilled. And I hate when, and this is the problem, especially in American culture, especially with athletes, when they ask questions like, hey, who do you think is more skilled? And they feel the urge to say themselves because they have this false bravado about, oh, I got to say myself. I don't say myself. No, then what you striving for? If you perfect, then what else is there to go on? You got to be honest, and when you're honest, then okay, this is the mountain that I got to overcome. And then I'm curious to ask him, like, if the questions were phrased in another way, not to kind of push off the segment, but if he say, yo, do you think you're the best player in the NBA? Would he genuinely be like, yeah, I'm the best player in the NBA? He might have said yes, but a lot of the times these players don't genuinely feel that way. So I think NBA players, athletes in general, they got to get back to just being honest and being real with themselves, as opposed to kind of creating this false persona. But yeah, I agree with Bolo. It's not egregious, but I just don't agree with the list.
So here's why I'm good with it. Kind of because of what both you said. It's not egregious, and I think it's not egregious, not only because it's him referring to himself, but because he's a damn skilled player. Now, if it was someone coming out of left field, what I'm saying, if it was, I don't know, if it was Tim Hardaway Jr. saying this, then I would be like, nah. But Tatum could do so many different things on the floor, so that's why I don't think it's egregious. Granted, I'm in agreement with you. I do think Kyrie is more skilled. But I could see Tatum saying, oh, I could do this, and trying to make a case for himself, even though I would lean towards Kyrie. You feel what I'm saying? So I think he's going to get a pass from me for that because he is very, very skilled. You know what I'm saying? This ain't, like I said, this ain't certain other guys saying, oh, they're the most skilled. And I do think his list was pretty much well thought out too, even though my list will probably look different. But talking about lists, I didn't really get a chance to jot it down. And but Bolo, do you have a list? If you have to go right now, freestyle it off the top of your head, your 5 most skilled.
Top of my head, I'm gonna go Kyrie, Curry. That's 1, 2. KD's in there somewhere. Probably Joker. You could probably throw him in there. He's definitely skilled. I naturally want to say LeBron, but somebody like LeBron and Embiid at the fifth spot, probably top of my head.
Okay.
I think, like you said, having those skills, especially, with that poor size and stuff like that, it makes it makes it a little bit, better to be packaged like that. Pause.
Yeah. I see you thinking about it, Mo. You need another second to think about it, or?
Oh, no, I'll just go right into it. I'll probably say Kyrie. I'll probably definitely have like not in order, right? Because I really have to think about it, right?
Yeah.
But if I had a 5, I would definitely have like Kyrie number 1, right? And then the rest, it can be out of order, but I'll definitely have Steph Curry in there. I'll have CJ McCollum in there. I'll have Paul George in there. And I can definitely probably have Jason Tatum in there as well. But you can also swap certain players like Shah, right? Like, so there's a lot of skilled players in mine. And I think my list is probably tailored to the offensive end because, like, right, when we're talking about assist, scoring, that's more offensive bounded, right? Versus like rebounding and defense. There's a skill, but it's on like 2 areas. So that would probably be.
So for me, I got Kai at the top of the list. I would have Paul George in there. I would have Steph Curry in there. I would have Jokic in there. And I would put Tatum on my list actually right now, just thinking about it, you know what I'm saying? And like what you were mentioning about like rebounding and stuff, the reason I would put someone like Jokic in there, because I think his rebounding is skilled, you know what I'm saying? It's knowing where to be, how to get in position, because he's not the most athletic guy, right? He's not just DeAndre Jordan in these rebounds. So I think his rebound is kind of like a skillful way of rebounding, because he's not the most athletic, but he knows how to dominate the boards, if that makes sense. So I think for him, rebounding is a skill versus just I'm Dwight Howard type athletic and I'm just dominating.
Nah, I can't. I have to disagree. I think if you're saying there's a skill for him, it has to be a skill for everyone else.
It's a skill for everybody, yeah.
Yeah, he just might be better at it, but it's still a skill.
But I'm saying that's why I would put him on there over certain people. Like, for example, Embiid got a crazy skill set too. But I'm leaning Jokic, and I'm just saying, like, for example, that's like one thing I would say. Like, we all know his passing, right? His scoring ability, his shooting. But I'm just saying, like, I think he's a more skilled rebounder than many people in the fashion that he because he's making up for that lack of athleticism with just like know-how, just pure rebounding skill. So
I also think sometimes when you get into these debates, it be too high level view. Like you could get if you ever watch like JJ Redick and the Dunk Man and those guys really getting into it, X's and O's with a lot of stuff, but in general, when you're having these debates, you can't look at it like that. Like when you're talking from a real player, professional perspective, not that I am what we are. It's like they're talking about like pick and roll coverage. He got drop coverage. He shot creating off the dribble. He could do this. He's pick and pop. He's post. He got left hook, right hook. So it is even more granular. And just like he shoots better than him because his layers are shooting. It's better than rebound. Some people offensive rebound. Somebody may know how to block the shot, keep the ball in play better. So it's little intricacies that go in. And some people say hustle, energy is a skill. So
that's definitely not a skill.
Some people say it is.
I get what people try to say, but people be reaching though.
But in that essence, this is what I mean. It definitely could go, more granular into the skill if you get into the nitty gritty like that, as of just those high level views.
Okay. I definitely want to hear from the audience. I want to drop in the comments what you think about Tatum. Is he tripping? And I want to hear what's your top 5 most skilled players.